All right, now to one of the best parts from last night's speech of Joe Biden at the State of the Union. Now, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene and other Republicans calling out Joe Biden for his flat-out blatant lie. Take a listen.
Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. And I tell you, I enjoy conversion.
Not exactly conversion. They're not proposing it. And what he said was a lie. Notice how he quickly backtracked. Maybe that's because the guy who actually did call for Medicare and Social Security to be slashed, that would hurt grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad, was Joe Biden himself. Let's remind him of himself at 1995.
I want to go on record. I'm up for re-election this year, and I'm going to remind everybody what I did at home, which is going to cost me politically. When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans benefits. I meant every single solitary thing in the government. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth.
It's actually refreshing to see Joe Biden with a pulse. Now, of course, Democrats never let truth get in the way of a great political lie and narrative. Now, all of a sudden, after years of tantrums and rip speeches, they're very concerned with decorum in the House of Representatives, and they're very angry tonight at Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, one MSDNC host whining that she breached decorum and will face no consequences for it. Election denier himself, Jamie Raskin, calling her ridiculous and brought up George Santos. Why don't you bring up the congenital liar, your friend Adam Schiff? It's all they seem to be able to talk about. And meanwhile, Chelsea Handler called her a miserable moron. And the always classy ladies of The View, they even attacked her wardrobe. I didn't know that they were such fashion experts on that show, but take a look.
I was distracted by Marjorie Taylor Greene's jacket.
Oh my God!
It looked like she skinned my puppy.
Yeah.
I was very. There's Herbie not being pleased by this look.
It was like a little Cruella DeVille.
I could see it now, the fashion collections of joyless Behar. Anyway, here to respond, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is with us. I personally loved every moment of it. And I'll tell you why. Because every 2 and 4 years, and they did it in this last election, Democrats lie and say that Republicans want dirty air and water. They want to throw Granny and Grandpa over a cliff. They want to take away Social Security. They're racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic, and it goes on. So, the Republicans in unison, and you were pretty loud, you had a seat in the back saying, not true. What did you think of Joe Biden engaging that?
Well, I thought it was pretty impressive that the president would enter the people's house and try to lie to the American people about the economy, the border, and even ignore the fact that he allowed the Chinese spy balloon to spy on America. But when he continued the lie, accusing Republicans of preparing to cut Social Security and Medicare, we couldn't take it. So I, along with my colleagues, were calling him out. I think I was just the loudest one because I stood up and screamed liar. And the reason why I did that, Sean, is because they have used my image and my name as leading the effort in that, when we have not had one single meeting in the GOP conference talking about cutting Social Security and Medicare. Joe Biden is a liar. I represent the American people, and I was honored to be able to call him the liar that he is in the people's house and not allow him to get away with it.
Do you have any reaction to the fashion experts, the fashion icons on The View?
Well, I have to say, Sean, occasionally I get yelled at by old white women, and I always know that they watch The View because those are some nasty women on that show, and they have no right to insult anyone's fashion. I was wearing a wool coat, actually, and it's one of my favorite coats because I got it in Wyoming when I was campaigning against and raising money to beat Liz Cheney. And I was happy to wear it to the State of the Union last night because it simply went with my dress. So, I'll challenge the women on The View anytime for a debate, because they represent the worst part of America, the worst views. And to be honest with you, no one in my district cares what they think.
I would imagine that to be true. You were in the hearings today, and you may have had the best line of the day in the hearing. You were talking to the former the site integrity head, Yoel Roth, and you said, quote, "You permanently banned my Twitter account, but you allowed child porn all over Twitter." What does that tell you?
Well, I think Americans should be extremely concerned about that. You know, Hunter Biden's laptop from hell is exactly what we're investigating on the Oversight Committee, thanks to Jamie Comer and many other of my Republican colleagues, and Jim Jordan as well. But you know who else may have a disgusting laptop? That's Yoel Roth, because he's on record with some very disturbing views about minors and child porn. You know, as being the guy in charge of Twitter and safety, he permanently banned my Twitter account for a year during my election. He permanently banned President Trump and many conservative Americans for simply using their freedom of speech. But he allowed child porn to proliferate on Twitter, to the point where a mother and her son had to file a lawsuit to get child porn about him and another minor taken off of Twitter. Yoel Roth has a lot to be concerned about, and I hope that we investigate him more.
All right, Congresswoman, we're going to follow these hearings very closely. We appreciate you being with us. Thank you for joining us.